So, today we're going to do an activity having to do with one of the themes of the book. Thank you, Lexi. And can someone just remind us, what are some of the themes we've been talking about so far? Kayla?
It was friendship and believing in yourself, and then something else, but I can't remember.
Okay, so we've got friendship, believing in oneself. What else, Lexi?
Just like strength.
Strength.
Something like that.
Okay, can you say more about that? What kind of strength, or in the face of what? What are we talking about when we say strength? Lexi, you want to give it a try?
Because maybe like being able to stay strong in this new place where things were unfamiliar. She's a bit more familiar, but it's still a couple of things she doesn't know.
Okay.
So
Staying strong in the face of things that you don't know.
yeah, and I think she's really starting to like Miss Smith, but she's trying to convince herself that she doesn't.
Okay.
Because it's not real. I'm gonna leave soon. She doesn't actually care for me. She didn't want us in the first place.
And so, why does she tell herself those things? Why does she keep reminding herself, don't like Miss Smith. Miss Smith is not nice to you. She doesn't want us. Why does she keep reminding herself of all those things?
Because she's gotten used to like a good life. But when she goes back to Ma'am, she's probably gonna get confined into her room again, and she's gonna go back to eating like barely a meal a day.
So you're saying that she's afraid that when she goes back to Ma'am, she'll have gotten too used to the good life.
Yeah.
Okay. Why else do you might think it might be that she keeps saying, this is not me, this is kind of just a temporary thing and don't get used to it. There's another reason. Yeah, Madam?
I kind of think she doesn't really know the right way to like respond to it or like to like react to everything because like, she's just really confused.
She is really confused.
Because just going to Miss Smith's stuff, she's like, what's that? Oh, it's grass. Like she doesn't know anything, and then now she's in this new world, and she's just like really confused on what's right and what's wrong.
Okay, so definitely a lot of confusion, a lot of input, but not really understanding how to make sense of it. Kayla?
She doesn't want to get hurt again or let anyone in.
Yeah.
So, and she wasn't internalized, is that the word? Her mother's trying not to like make it seem like everything's her fault.
Yeah, who is she afraid of getting hurt by?
Miss Smith.
Smith. Exactly. Is she afraid of getting hurt by her mother?
Hillary.
Yes,
no.
Yeah, she's already been hurt by her mother. She knows what that's like, right? It's not her mother's hurt or her mother's rejection she's afraid of. Even though she wants her mother's acceptance and love, she's not afraid of her mother's rejection because you can only be afraid of something that you've never seen before or you don't really know how to deal with it. She's afraid of losing Miss Smith's acceptance. And so that's why she doesn't want to let Miss Smith in. Okay, so Lexi, a few minutes ago, said maybe one of the themes is something to do with strength. Okay, do you remember that last time we talked, we said that the title of the book, The War That Saved My Life, is really about 2 wars? What did we say the second war is? Maya? So there's the war with Germany, right? England's fighting Germany. Ada and her mother, okay, definitely Ada and her mother. And what do you think, Grace? Ada and Miss Smith? I'm not sure that that's a war. That's something. Lilia?
Herself with her own self.
Yeah, her fight with her own self. Okay, Ada and her 2 selves. Okay, this is what we're going to be looking at today. Ada and her fight within herself to figure out which version of myself is the real me. Is it the version that lived back in the East End in London? The one that was, always being punished for having a club foot? Or is it the version of myself that's here in this neighborhood, this countryside area in England, where people like Miss Smith care about her and tell her that she's actually okay, right? And not only is she okay, she has something to be proud of, right? And the thing that is her tangible, the thing that she can touch and actually look at, something that she can really point to, her major flaw is her club foot. And that for her is kind of like, I don't know, the quintessence, the symbol of all of the things that she thinks might be wrong with her, that she's been told over and over again are wrong with her. Okay, so I want us to go to page 120. And what is it that Miss Smith offers Ada on page 120? Take a look at 120. So everyone is turning to page 120 right now. What is it that Miss Smith offers Ada? Everyone's hand should go up. Savannah.
Like velvet clothing.
A velvet what?
Clothing.
Okay, specifically
Like
what kind of
dress.
clothing?
Dress.
Uh-huh. Okay, so this is a very fancy kind of an outfit that you wear. Yeah, Casey?
Also for Miss Smith to make her clothing.
Uh-huh, for Miss Smith to make her clothing. Grace?
It says it's for winter, something warm that you can ride in.
Uh-huh, okay. So let's look at that on page 120. So Ada says, at the very top of the page, she says, Miss Smith had thrown away the clothes we'd come from London in, and still I had 3 blouses, 2 skirts, 2 sweaters, a dress, a coat, and a pair of riding pants, more clothes than I had ever owned in my lifetime. Hang on one sec, Lexi. I couldn't imagine needing anything else. Dressing gowns, Miss Smith said, as though reading my mind, for winter. Something warm that you can ride in, perhaps something pretty. The red dress is very nice, but it's not the best color for you. She looked at me in a way that gave me the feeling of being a fish on a slab. Blue, perhaps, or a nice bottle green. Green's a good color with your complexion. Velvet? I loved the velvet dress I had as a girl. What kind of a material is velvet?
Soft. Yeah. Like furry.
Soft, rich.
No, like cotton. No, it's not
velvet.
velvet.
It's very
Lexi's
warm.
velvet pink.
It's very warm.
Or like a velvet.
What kind of people often have velvet
I
clothing?
hate velvet.
Rich people, but at the same time, you can also just
You can
I don't like that.
Who used to wear velvet, guys? Not nowadays. Now,
I
different.
had velvet
Rich
bows.
people.
Okay, specifically, what kind of rich people, Lilia?
English.
Royal.
Royalty. Royalty. Velvet is the material of royalty. So back when we had royalty, that was the clothing. So it was kind of like symbolic. Velvet is symbolic of luxury, of a way of life that, does Ada feel comfortable with it? No, that is not Ada. Yes, Chloe.
Now you can buy it in Urban Outfitters.
Yes, you can.
Right.
And that is the mark of advanced society. I'll tell you.
velvet in like TJ Maxx.
Yes, you can. But this is 1940, guys, so we're talking about a different era. Okay. Yes, Lexi. Wait, hang on one sec, Lexi. We're not all here with you. So Lexi has the floor, but we can't hear her. Yes, Lexi.
At the bottom, she thinks that she isn't good enough to wear velvet.
Yes. And that is why we're looking at this passage. Okay, so let's look at this passage because this is a passage that has a lot of theme inside of it. This is like a giant lemon, and if you squeeze it, all the juice is going to come out, and all the juice is the theme.
Lemons are wonderful.
So here we go.
That's nice.
Blue, perhaps, or a nice bottle green. Green's a good color with your complexion, velvet. I love the velvet dress I had as a girl. Nine, Savannah, can you guys stop colors with the highlighter? Your highlighter is meant specifically for Amity. I hate velvet, I said. She laughed. You wouldn't know velvet if your underwear was made from it, she said. Ada, that's a fib. What's a fib? A lie. Why? Why is she asking, what is she saying, why? Why what? Why?
Why did I fib?
Why do you believe that?
Why are you lying? Why are you saying you hate velvet? You don't even know what velvet is. That's a fib. Why are you lying? I said, I don't want you making me things. Her smile faded. Why not? I shrugged. I had more than I needed, more than I felt comfortable with. Really. And this is the part we underline because this is where all the theme is coming in, I was still the girl I had seen in the train station mirror. Still the feeble-minded girl stuck behind a window. Feeble-minded is like the same as simple, the word that they've used for her, right? It means not very smart. The simple one. I was okay with wearing Maggie's cast-offs. Maggie, the rich girl, Maggie's, giveaways. But I knew my limits. Who tells her, who in this book has told her, you should know your limits? Who has told her that and when?
When she started walking.
Yes. When she started walking, right? When she started walking, her mom said, you think you're all that, right? You're getting too big for your britches. You need to know your place. And your place is this. Your place is the girl in the train station mirror who's feeble-minded and stuck behind the window and who has a club foot. So what is the theme that this passage right here is showing us? Right? Right now, in 1 minute. What are we unpacking here? This little scene where Miss Smith is saying, I want to make you a green velvet dress, and I think you would look really pretty in it. In fact, I think that we have to make you a green velvet dress just because you'll look prettier in it than you would in the red velvet dress or the red dress that Maggie gave me.
Has she seen herself ever since she's gotten cleaned up?
Yeah, she has.
Yeah, presumably there's a mirror in the bathroom at Miss Smith's house. Yeah, presumably.
I kind of think she's feeling like subconscious kind of thing. I wrote in the book that after she looked in the mirror and she saw that she was like really dirtier than anybody else, and in the book it said simple. So I feel like she thinks that there's no way I'm always gonna be that girl, the one who is poor, the one who's always dirty.
Now, let me ask you something. Yeah, Chloe?
Aren't they gonna fix her club foot?
Aren't they going to fix her club foot? Why isn't her club foot being fixed right now? Can someone answer that? Lexi?
Because her mom has authorized it.
Her mom has not authorized it. Why is Miss Smith continuing to try to find her mom's address?
Because she really wants Ada's foot to get fixed, and she also wants Ada to know where her mother is, and she wants to know where she is, because she could be dead, she could have moved to a different town, a different area.
Yeah. In order to get Ada's club foot fixed, she needs to have parental authorization. She can't have parental authorization if ma'am doesn't give it. And ma'am can't give it if she has to send it back. It's like she has to sign a permission slip.
It's not like you can just do the email.
No. Well, there is no email, but also she doesn't have, right? Ma'am is not replying back to her letters. Okay? Yes, Chloe?
I feel like by the end of the book, Miss Smith is gonna film her.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Yes, Grace. In 1 second, I promise. Okay. So, not 1 second, but 1 minute. As soon as we finish this, and then I can send you guys off to do what we're going to do today. Okay. This passage right here is like a really good example of the war that Ada is fighting with herself. There's two versions of her. There's the one that she sees in the mirror at the train station where she's scraggly haired and where nobody wants her. And everyone says, I'll take the boy, but not her. And then there's this version of her, which is, Ada, I'm going to make you a green velvet dress, a dress that royalty wears, because green fits your complexion and I think you will look so pretty in it. And because you deserve it. And that is a version that Ada is not comfortable. She says, I was comfortable with the version that looks that way, the one that is in the train mirror. I was comfortable with that. I know what that's like. It's not pretty, okay, fine, but I know it. But this version, where I'm pretty and where I deserve good things in life, I'm very uncomfortable with that because that's not who I am. Except maybe it is. Maybe it is who I am. And Ada is trying to figure it out. Which version of herself is she? Okay, so now here's what we're going to do. You're going to get into groups, and I want you to, you're going to draw a representation of Ada. But in that representation, you're going to show the two different versions of her. Okay, so here's what I mean. You're going to draw the parts that the world tells her she is, and then the parts that she actually is. And you're going to do it with symbols, with illustrations, and with quotes. Okay? Hang on one second, Meadow. I'll answer your questions in a second. So you're going to find quotations throughout the novel, not just in these two chapters, but in all the passages that we've read so far. Quotes that are giving Ada messages about who she is. Because remember, we've talked about this idea of internalizing messages. You're going to find quotes for all of the messages that Ada has gotten about who she is. And some of those messages are good, like from Miss Smith, maybe, right? And some of those messages are bad, like from Ma'am. And then there's all sorts of other people she comes in contact with, like Maggie and the Iron Lady and the teacher who says she's not educable, and Rhymes, the field hand, right? Lots of different messages that she gets. I want you to find the quotations that give Ada messages that she is trying to either internalize or fight off. And so the way you're going to do it is like this. You're going to draw.
So should we take our green highlighter for this?
Your green highlighter? Why?
For net/evidence.
Oh, yes, actually, that would be a great idea, huh? Yeah. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Each group is going to get a poster. And on your poster, you're going to draw Ada. Now, you can draw Ada like a stick figure if you want. You can do that, okay?